Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Emma.
And I'm Daniel. It's great to have you with us.
If you're learning English and you can understand English quite well, but you still struggle to speak, today's conversation is especially for you.
Yes. This is actually something a lot of English learners experience. They can watch an English movie and understand what's happening. They can listen to a podcast. They can read articles and messages, but when they have to speak,
Their mind suddenly goes completely blank.
exactly, you know what you want to say, but you can't find the words.
And sometimes you even know the grammar. You know the vocabulary. You've studied English for years, but speaking still feels difficult.
So today we're going to talk about why this happens, and what you can actually do to change it.
We'll talk about some common reasons, like translating in your head, being afraid of mistakes, not practicing enough, and knowing words without being able to use them quickly.
And we'll also share some simple speaking exercises you can start using every day.
So, let's start with the biggest question. Why can you understand English but can't speak it?
That's a good question. And honestly, the answer might be simpler than you think. I think the first thing people need to understand is this. Understanding English and speaking English are two different skills.
Right. When you're listening, you're mainly recognizing information. Someone says a sentence, and your brain tries to understand it. For example, if I say, "What did you have for breakfast?" You might immediately understand the question.
But if I ask you to answer, "What did you have for breakfast?" Suddenly your brain says, "Please wait. Your English service is currently unavailable."
Exactly, because speaking requires something extra. You have to find the words, organize them into a sentence, choose the correct grammar, pronounce the words, and say everything quickly enough. That's a lot of work.
And you're doing all of that while another human being is staring at you, which doesn't help.
Not at all. So, if you understand English well but struggle to speak, it doesn't necessarily mean your English is bad. It may simply mean your input is much stronger than your output.
Input means what you receive, listening and reading. Output means what you produce, speaking and writing.
And many English learners spend years improving input without practicing enough output. They watch English videos, they listen to podcasts, they read books, they learn vocabulary, but they don't actually speak.
Then one day they think, "I've studied English for 10 years. Why can't I speak?" Well, because studying swimming and actually getting into the water are slightly different activities.
Here's another common problem. You know the word. You have seen it many times. You understand it when someone else says it. But when you want to speak, you can't remember it.
This is called a retrieval problem. You might recognize the word comfortable immediately when you hear it. But when you're speaking, you might suddenly think, "How do I say that thing? Comfortable, comfort, comfortable."
And after 10 seconds, the conversation has already moved on.
Exactly. That's why simply learning more vocabulary isn't always the solution. You don't only need to recognize words, you need to practice retrieving them.
For example, instead of only memorizing appointment, an arranged meeting, try using it. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. She made an appointment with the manager. What time is your appointment?
Now the word becomes something you can actually use. You're training your brain to find it quickly.
Another huge reason is translation. A lot of learners think in their first language and then translate into English.
Let's demonstrate. Someone asks, "What are you doing this weekend?" Your brain goes, first language, think of the answer, translate, check grammar, check vocabulary, then finally, "I am going to."
And by that time, the other person has already checked their phone twice.
Exactly, translation makes speaking much slower.
Now, you don't need to magically start thinking in perfect English. That's unrealistic. Instead, start with simple thoughts. For example, I'm hungry, I'm tired, I need coffee, it's raining, I have to finish this. I don't want to go outside.
You don't need advanced English to think in English. Actually, simple English is the best place to start.
Now let's talk about something that stops many people from speaking. Fear. Fear of making mistakes.
This one is huge. You might know exactly what you want to say. But before speaking, you think, is this grammar correct? Is my pronunciation correct? What if they laugh? What if they think my English is terrible?
And then you say nothing.
Which is grammatically perfect,
Technically, yes.
but not very useful.
The truth is, you will make mistakes when learning to speak. That's normal. Children make thousands of mistakes when learning their first language. They don't sit there thinking, wait, is my past tense grammatically appropriate? They just talk.
They say something wrong, someone corrects them, they try again, and eventually they improve.
Adults often want to skip that uncomfortable stage. But you can't. You have to allow yourself to sound imperfect before you can sound natural.
Let's talk about grammar. Grammar is important, but knowing grammar rules doesn't automatically make you a good speaker.
Exactly. You might know present simple, present continuous, past simple, present perfect, conditionals, passive voice.
You might even know the difference between has been and had been.
But then someone asks, what did you do last weekend? And you say, last weekend, I have, went.
And suddenly all those grammar lessons disappear.
Because knowing a rule and using it automatically are different things. The goal is to practice grammar inside real sentences. Instead of studying only, past simple is used for completed actions in the past. Practice: I watched a movie yesterday. I went to the supermarket. I met my friend. I didn't sleep well.
Repeat those sentences, change them. Ask yourself questions: what did I do yesterday? What did I eat? Where did I go? Who did I talk to? That's how grammar becomes automatic.
This sounds obvious, but it's probably the biggest problem. You don't speak enough.
People sometimes say, I watch English videos every day. That's great, but watching someone speak English doesn't mean you're practicing speaking English.
It's like watching someone exercise and expecting your muscles to become stronger.
Imagine watching gym videos for 1 hour every day. Look, I'm watching people lift weights.
Your muscles would probably not be impressed.
Exactly, your speaking skill needs practice too. You need to actually produce English.
Now let's make this practical. What can someone do if they don't have an English-speaking partner?
There are actually many things. First, talk to yourself. Yes, it feels strange,
Yeah, very strange.
but it works. Describe what you're doing. I'm making coffee. Now I'm washing the cup. I need to finish my work. I'm feeling tired today.
You can also talk about your day. For example, today I woke up at 8, I had breakfast, then I worked for 3 hours. After lunch, I watched a video.
Another technique is shadowing. Listen to a short English sentence and repeat it immediately. Try to copy the pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation.
Don't worry about copying every single word perfectly. Focus on sounding natural.
And here's another powerful technique: record yourself.
I know, nobody likes hearing their own voice.
The first recording is usually a traumatic experience.
You hear yourself and think, do I really sound like that?
Yes, apparently, that's your actual voice. Humanity has survived worse.
But recording yourself helps because you can hear your mistakes. You can notice where you pause, you can notice words you struggle with, and you can compare your speaking after a few weeks.
There's one mindset change I really want learners to make: stop trying to speak perfect English.
Your goals should be clear communication, not perfection. If you say, yesterday I go to shopping, that's grammatically incorrect, but I understand you.
And that's the important part: later, you can improve it too. Yesterday, I went shopping.
First communicate, then improve.
Don't wait until your English is perfect before you start speaking. Speaking is one of the things that will make your English better.
Let's give everyone a simple routine. You don't need 3 hours every day. Let's say you have 20 minutes.
5 minutes, think in English. Look around your room and describe what you see.
5 minutes, shadowing. Choose a short English video and repeat the speaker.
5 minutes, speak about your day. Don't write a script, just talk.
And the final 5 minutes? Record yourself. Then listen. Don't criticize everything. Choose just 1 or 2 things to improve.
For example, today I used too many pauses. Or, I couldn't remember some vocabulary. Next day, work on that.
If you do this consistently, you'll slowly notice something important. You won't need to translate every sentence. Words will come faster, you'll pause less, and you'll become more comfortable making mistakes.
There's one more thing. If you can understand this entire conversation, your English is already doing something right.
Exactly. Don't ignore your listening ability just because your speaking isn't at the same level.
Think of your English as having different skills. Maybe your reading is strong, maybe your listening is strong, maybe speaking is weaker. That's okay. You don't need to be equally good at everything immediately.
You just need to practice the skill that's behind.
So, why can you understand English but can't speak it?
Because understanding and speaking are different skills.
You may have a retrieval problem.
You may translate too much.
You may be afraid of mistakes.
You may study grammar without using it.
And most importantly, you may simply not be speaking enough.
So don't wait until you feel ready. Start with simple sentences, talk to yourself, describe your day, repeat after native speakers, record yourself, make mistakes, and keep going.
You don't need perfect English to start speaking English. You need practice to build the confidence to speak.
And remember, you probably know more English than you think. You just need to train your brain to use it.
And if you understood everything we said today but still can't speak, don't worry, you're officially experiencing the English Learner Starter Pack.
We've all been there.
Keep practicing.
And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.